Hey folks, welcome back. It's the WCS Challenger for Oceania and SEA. It's the open qualifiers, and we're starting to get into the thick of it now. I'm joined once again by Maynard and Pig, who are going to be bringing you the next match. And Pig, would you like to share with us once again, what is the next match?
It is an exciting one. Do you know why? It's because it's the first time we get to see Zerg versus Terran today so far. It is Azure up against Meomaika, or Meomaika, as he likes to name himself on the ladder, with his cheeky ladder account. The man who invented the slow Zergling Roach All-In, up against a Terran who really came to the fore in 2016, 2.5 years ago, started getting a lot of high finishes. And has always been bouncing around the final day of our Challenger region. He always makes it to the final day, Azure does. He's always a good, solid Terran. But he has had a good run today so far. I mean, he's actually gone straight through NXZ in the previous round, 2-1. Azure took out 2-0 before that, and Animal 99999 2-0 before that. I haven't heard of Animal before, but the other two very good opponents. And it's all Terran versus Zerg. And he's playing Terran versus Zerg again. So I think Azure is in good form in this matchup, and Meomaika always a threat as well.
That's a huge bit of information there. Being able to play the same matchup over and over again, then go into that exact same matchup as your next series, you're going to be feeling really confident here. And Meomaika, I don't think he's played any Terrans yet.
No, I mean, he did take out Risky earlier on today with the 2-0. Took out Pesaperi as well with a 2-1, and Harry ANU with a 2-0 before that. So he's had a good run as well. I mean, especially the Risky win is big, but definitely, it does come down to Zerg versus Zerg. You play the correct way for the matchup, it's going to be a good one. But anyway, we are launching here. We're into map already. And up here in the top left-hand side of the map, in the green, Terran player, it is Azure. Representing Legacy, of course.
And the bottom right here is a cute little gas cancel here. This is Meomaika. I think is teamless at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just repping his clan there, Dark Society Gaming.
Okay, I was trying to read that while I was like doing that thing like what my dog does when he hears a word that you don't understand. I turn my head and lean a little bit like, what is that saying?
That's not good, boy.
Yeah. The dog's trying to understand what his name is. It's like, oh, it's the word that they say to me the most, so that means that my name is down. So the drone's trying to get an SCV kill here. Oh, it doesn't quite get it though. Pulling quite a few workers here, a couple workers here is Azure, but that's not uncommon, because you can use one to scout and just keep that drone at bay. It's kind of like Meomaika might have a Protoss alternate account here with that drone war in the early stages of the game. So I'm used to seeing that happen against probes, but not so much, against drones.
Yeah, and actually very relatively early sporting pool for Meomaika and saving up for 6 Zerglings all at once. But you know what? He's seen an SCV coming across the map. So I think he's changing his mind and just going into drones now. Yeah, good response here from Meomaika. I think he wanted to build 6 Zerglings there to run across and try to delay the command center, but he says, look, you're going to scout it. There's no point. Doesn't even build a single pair of links here. Plays it very safe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the power of this SCV opening is you get down there and you're like, all right, the SCV will see whether or not it's a hatch first or a pull first, and then as a Terran, you can make the decision to get your command center on the high ground or the low ground as a result. And as we see, as yours like, all right, I can put my CC on the low ground. I don't need to be super defensive here. But as I say that, Meomaika going for that roach warring.
Oh my, he roaches all day and night, Maynard. He loves those fast roach ravager pressures. Doesn't have a crazy amount of gas. So I'm kind of wondering if it's just going to be like a 3 roach pressure, morphing them each into ravages, because they're really...
Oh, he sees it.
Oh, nice scout by Azure. Yeah, I mean, you see the empty natural, that's a tell. You see the roach warren, that's an even bigger tell. You know exactly what's coming here as Azure. Even forces a spore trick out and keeps the Reaper alive. And 3 roaches are on the way. 4 roaches. Another Overlord's about to pop. Do we see Meomaika just completely commit here? Or nope, drones kick in. Yeah, so just 4 roaches. It's going to be a light Ravager pressure, really just trying to keep Azure off balance and then going from there. And interestingly, Azure is lifting off that factory. I think he's going to go for a super fast Banshee to shut this down. You know, Marine's in a bunker and then a Banshee. There's nothing Zerg has that shoots up that early in the game, so it can be really good.
Neo. Yeah, losing these overlords would really suck for him. It kind of looks like he's about to. Just one Marine is certainly going to get at least one of them there, which will supply Black Mir's got another overlord in the way, but, you know, that's it for him. He is droning behind this. Like you said, it's not like a super big all-in. It's just a lot of pressure here with a small number of roaches. A Cyclone, a bunker, all these things are pretty good at holding small numbers of Roach Ravager.
This is very sloppy.
That
second overlord goes down, man.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's a lot of damage.
Very rough start here for Meomaika, losing those 2 overlords to a single Marine. Like, what do you want, man? You're not going to win a game if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is the wildness of Meomaika, is he will just play these crazy styles. And that Cyclone goes out there, scouts the Ravagers morphing, and this, of course, tells Azure that there will need to be a bit of repair action going on. Liberator on the way to go and do some counter pressure. Now, I really, part of me was about to say you should build Cyclones and just push out and get rid of these Ravagers so they can't pick at the bunker. But look at this Ling speed and non-stop Lings on the way for Meomaika. Still no third hatch. Is up to a second gas as well. So it's going to be 4 Ravagers and then about 40,000 Zerglings are going to come in here in a little while. And there's a delay before he can pull the trigger on it. But already seeing those 2 Ravagers, I think Azure here... Oh, he's building a 3rd command center.
Yeah, this is really smart from Meomaika. I mean, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, but now it kind of does. Azure is actually, you know, he's getting his depots in the main base. He isn't making them at the wall because the Ravagers have been a threat. So he's not putting the depots at the front because they'd just be picked off by the Ravager piles, which means there's no wall in here. So a Ling flood is going to be very, very devastating, at least theoretically.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 4... He's making Burrow behind this? Starts Burrow and then cancels it immediately. Okay, so it's only 4 Ravagers, but you need to pull about 15 SCVs, and there's no way they can get rid of this bunker. That first siege tank is massive. I'd love to see another one. The Liberator pressure does come in now. Is going to force a bit of lost mining time, but already seeing a few workers. Azure's got to realize something's up, but he doesn't pull workers quick enough.
Yeah, they're late on the repair as well. That thing gets biled down. The Lings are closing the distance. The tank gets down. It did a little bit of damage before it went down, but Azure is just bleeding units here to the Lings of Meomaika. The Bile's connecting with the Cyclone and finishing off as well. The Lings are in the main, and he is just holding that Z button. He's got his thumb pressed way in there, and he's just going to send Lings into Azure space. GG.
That's how Meomaika does it, man.
Oh, I would hate to play Meomaika on the ladder. God, I'm glad I'm bad at this game.
Thwarted,
man,
thwarted. Oh wait, the 4th wave got me.
I thought that people at my league just held the Z button and rallied all their units into my base, but Meomaika, there's a fresh new level of hell right there.
Oh, that's frustrating as well. I mean, I will be critical and say I don't think Liberators are the right call against Meomaika, because Liberators are good when someone's spread across a lot of bases and a lot of economy, and they're just not good against Ravagers on the defense. A second siege tank would have done it. More SCVs on the repair. You know, maybe a Banshee. I mean, a Banshee 100% would have done it, but Meomaika, there's a reason players don't build Banshees. It's because most of the time his queens do a single inject and then they walk across the map to your base. So if you don't have cloak, your Banshees just die to the queen. So I can understand the sort of mind maze Azure is in right now, where he's like, well, what exactly do I do to be safe? And, you know, the Liberator came in, and I think maybe that was the tell in the moment where he needed to just react faster. He said, hey, this base is empty. Surround the bunker with SCVs. If the bunker survives that first set of biles, the tank can't get biled down unless the bunker is going to be standing strong the whole time. The Cyclone can't get surrounded and biled down, and that all makes a huge difference. Also, who knows, potentially walling off fully is the right call there. It provides things for the Ravagers to pick off, but it definitely stops the Ling Flood getting in there and killing you. So a few different choices for Azure, but a nasty position. He was definitely ahead in that game. He blocked multiple waves of aggression with almost no damage. He sniped a few Overlords. His Reaper was annoying as well. To lose after that's frustrating. Let's see how he rallies.
Yeah, well, we got all our players in the lobby here. Just making sure it's get Zeph in here as well. Watch while she's having her lunch. And it is going to be a lost and found for our next battlefield between these two players. Can Azure fight back, or will Meomaika close it out with the memes?
The memes, the cheeky memes. Azure, a player who, you know, I've played a lot, back when I was still competing and he was coming up as a player, and I definitely love to take advantage of him with some cheesy all-ins as well, because he's a macro beast, and I think Meomaika is going to be bringing out some of those cheeky, aggressive builds, trying to catch him off guard. So here we go. Launching into game.
Yeah, let's do it. Zeph's out of here. She doesn't want none of it. She's disgusted by game number 1. She's like, I don't want to watch game number 2. What are you, insane? But we do. No. We don't need it. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
In the top right here, still sporting that beautiful green for Legacy, this is Azure.
Representing Legacy, of course. And his opponent down here in the bottom left-hand side with a cheeky win in game number 1. It is Meomaika. Of course, hailing from Vietnam. Haven't really had a strong history of Vietnamese players in our region, Southeast Asia, Oceania. He's really the first one I can remember really making a big mark. But he has made a big mark, big impression on everyone. Has come down to Australia to compete in the Challenger Finals once before as well. So definitely a guy who's really made a name for himself in the scene, and everybody is afraid of facing him because he is such a wild player. Doesn't play by any of the established rules around, establishing solid leads. He's a tricky player. It's all mind games.
He's like our Zerg Haas, I suppose, is how I would describe him. Generally, he's hard to read because Meomaika can also go fast 3 bases and actually play like a regular quote-unquote game out of it as well. So he plays to his image sometimes.
Yeah.
But he does, 9 times out of 10 go for something really crazy, very underhanded, very sneaky, like, an attack while you're not looking, something a little bit crazy. So scouting him and keeping him on his toes is key, which was tough for Azure in that last game. Like, yeah, he's Reaper saw everything he needed to see, but he is, he did need all of his units back in his natural when he was getting contained by those Ravagers, so it's hard to scout that follow-up. I suppose you can scan as a Terran, you have the ability you have the scout button if you really want it, but Terrans are generally muling and it's not scanning as much as they'd like to.
It's an expensive scout for sure, but this is a much cheaper scout and a much cleverer scout that Azure has set up. And SCV, of course, scouts and then hides in the corner of the main base after leaving Meomaika's vision. So he's going to use that for a guaranteed scout later on, unless the Overlord spots it. The Overlord spotted it in the main base, so Meomaika knows. Says, nah, I see you there.
Nah, mate. Get out of my house. Forced a Spore Crawler here to try and save that one drone. This one's, just reaches the edge of that creep, saves himself. That one's trying to become an extractor. It makes it. But this is, of course, every structure that Azure forces that Meomaika cancels is actually damage.
Yeah, so that's actually really good damage, for sure. That's like, it's no Zerglings out, though. So if you think about it, he cut those Zerglings, and this has actually distracted Meomaika. So I think Meomaika forgot about that SCV in the main base. Now, the Reaper's trying to scout here.
Reaper's getting up into the main. He's going to see that lair on the way, and also that second gas did not get cancelled. It's getting saturated. So Meomaika is already up to something a little bit sinister here. And I think I'm amazed that SCV's still alive, but Meomaika doesn't have any units. He's got those 2 lings, like you mentioned. It's just Queen's defending here with 2 lings, trying to cut too many corners here. Reaper actually getting a drone kill as well.
Wow, Azure's Reapers are doing so well. I mean, even in game 1, his Reaper did so much, but here it's got multiple kills. It's scouted everything. It looks like, greedy Reaper, greedy.
Yeah. Silly boy. Definitely alive.
So what's interesting here is, I mean, this is going to be like a Hydra or Muta play on 2 base, which is something we almost never see. And definitely, there's no way it's a Nidus Worm. Okay, I just said there's no way a Nidus Worm, and because of that, I'm now calculating how a Nidus Worm could work here because it's Meomaika we're casting, and he often throws my head through a loop a little bit when I'm trying to figure out what the next step is, but I think it'll be a Hydra Den or a Spire.
He's just like, I'm going to go fast. Yeah, there's that Spire there. And the Lings get scouted by Azure's SCV, but he hasn't seen a Spire yet. The Hellions coming into that natural, doing a lot of damage against these Lings, so they are getting surrounded. He sees a Spine Crawler as well. Good catch by Meomaika to get those Hellions away from that drone line.
That could be problematic. Back at home, Ling's running across. Azure has very few units. Throwing those Hellions away was not a good choice. Does get the depot raise up. The SCVs say you can't leave. All of those Zerglings get trapped in there and good hold by Azure.
Wow. Yeah, great hold, in fact. There's a little idle SCV there, but see, Meomaika is using the Overlord poop that you unlock once you get Lair to hide this Spire. very sneaky, cheeky plays from him. And Azure, you know, he's making a bunker and he's locking things down for a ground attack or potentially a Night Swarm. You know, he could potentially hold those things. But a big flock of Mutalisks. Meomaika is going to be able to get like 7 or 8 when that Spire finishes. That's a different story.
I'm going to be very critical of Azure. He's going double lib again against this time. In the last game, it kind of made sense a little bit. In this game, it makes no sense. A player who's going 2-base tech is 100% going to have Hydras or Mutas. Unless they're Night Swarming you, which means they got plenty of Queens. All of those things beat Liberators.
Azure saw the creep, I think, or maybe not just... All right, there we go. He sees the creep spread now, but he hasn't detected the Spire. He just saw the edge of the creep, but I don't know if he's paying close enough attention here.
This Liberator's actually working out right now, so good on you there with the Liberator. Scouts the Mutas as well, which is actually very nice for Azure. But what's he got at home to defend? A whole lot of nothing so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of Marines. They don't have stim just yet. I don't think they have combat shield either, so he's going to have to drop those turrets. Thankfully, the NG bays are done. So it's going to be turret with mass repair here from Azure until he manages to get a bit more of a solid Mutalisk countermeasure out.
Yeah, definitely needs a few more of these Marines out as well. But the third CC's up. The double upgrades will be starting shortly. So, I mean, it's definitely an economy lead for Azure as long as he stabilizes. And this extra Liberator has actually pulled the Mutas all the way home. That's, I think, way massive overreaction from Meomaika. Meomaika's Mutas need to be doing damage right now. They can't be back here.
And he also killed the Queen on the main base, which means Meomaika is up to a grand total of 1 single Queen pig. So the injects aren't going to be impressive on these 3 hatches either.
Yeah. Those Mutas are going to spring into action. +1 attack on the way, and 13 Mutas out, a 14th building as well. So Meomaika wants to go mass Muta. Marine's actually going after the intercept. Stim's not quite done, though. And is he going out to take a third already? Wow, very ambitious move here.
Yeah, this is so bold. He doesn't have stim just yet, and that's a lot of Lings. His Muta's coming in to help as well. Azure's medevacs may be able to help him out here, and he's managed to save the Marines with this third base. That's not going to happen, at least not yet.
Yeah, way too ballsy here from Azure. I mean, moving out there against a Zerg who's got next to no economy. And he does manage to stabilize his 2 bases, but unnecessary losses just before his upgrades kicked in here. And Meomaika are actually going to engage on the bunker. Stim is now finished, but oh my lord, the Mutalisk count is big. The Marines all getting focused down. The turret does add some damage, but his Marine count has already been blitzed. And now the wall is down. The SCVs are in the open. The Muta's finding damage here.
Unfortunate for Azure, being punished for his greed here. He's getting some Marines out. Oh, he's engaging in front of that turret. This could be a good engagement for Azure. The Mutalisk count getting thinned out a little bit.
But those Lings are in the natural at the same time, Maynard, and they are already causing so much damage. And Azure was looking like he was about to stabilize and take an epic lead in this game. But moving out to take the third preemptively, before he had his upgrades finished, now he's got all of his upgrades done. 1-1 stim, shields is almost finished, but he's got no economy. All of his depots are gone. He's got next to no Marines as well.
These Widow Mines could potentially be a comeback here for Azure. If he can bait Meomaika into these Widow Mines, raising the Lings at least, or getting rid of some of these Mutas, either of those 2 things, he may be able to stabilize his production, but losing those depots has got him supply blocked as well. So whatever's coming out of these barracks is going to be always going to be able to get. The Widow Mines burrowing under that command center. Will Meomaika overextend here? No, he's going straight for the SCVs. Oh, Widow Mines.
Only a couple of Lings go down to the mines. That's not enough damage. The Marine count falling here. There's no minerals left for Azure. He can't produce. His command center is just floating around idly. And Meomaika, so decisive, has managed to break through with the 2-base Muta Zergling. All in attack here. Didn't have any drones on his third base whatsoever. Barely had his main and natural saturated. But Azure just too eager to go to the next stage of the game. And you really need to earn your position in the next stage of the game when you're playing Meomaika. You can't just go there. You can't just assume your opponent's building drones. He is always getting ready for another assault. Azure did not respect that.
These Mutas have got +1 attacks. I mean, Azure is holding on for now, but there are another 10 Mutas about to hit the field here, and they are going to have +2 shortly, Pig. They're going to stop caring about Marines. It's going to be about the Widow Mines here. Meomaika, if he miss macros horribly, maybe he loses the game, but that's kind of asking a lot here from Meomaika, who is actually, you know, a very, very solid player. And he's played Knifey Spoony before. He knows how to turn this into a game. He thrives in chaos.
Yeah, the pointy end of the Mutalisk goes towards your opponent, not yourself. And he has definitely shown he's pretty good at orienting that one throughout this. And Overlord going to take a few Widowmine shots in the natural as well. And he dives in there. One more Widowmine, but...
Ooh, that gets quite a few links.
Yeah. Fresh mules, though. Fresh mules, fresh meat. Marine's going to come down. They still got sick upgrades. Like,
yeah, 1-1. 0-0 links.
Look at the Widowmine pull, though. The friendly fire. No, it doesn't even need it.
Man, what a frustrating loss there for Azure, being punished for just taking that third just a little too early there.
Yeah.
Not being as, as careful as he potentially could have been. It's unfortunate because it really felt like he had the reins in that game. Like he was certainly in charge after the early stages.
I think this is Azure in a nutshell, though. His strength as a player is in a standard game. He's so good at being just slightly greedy, but like in a normal game, 99% of the time, you don't. That's a good thing to do, is to be slightly greedy, to cut a corner, to push to the next stage, right? You don't do that against Meomaika. You got to be such a flexible person against Meomaika. Because what's Meomaika's specialty is, like, it doesn't matter. What he's doing gets scouted, he adjusts. He's got so many different kind of lines of attack that he can follow, and he smoothly shifts from one to the other based on what you see. And you can feel like Azure there is like, okay, I stopped this thing, and he immediately tries to get back into the normal game plan, just not quite respecting Meomaika enough there. And honestly, in that game especially, it was just wait for the upgrades to finish, wait till you've got 30, 40 Marines. We've all seen 1-1 Marines with medevacs and combat shields up against Mutas and Zerglings. Like, dude, when you get to a decent Marine count, the Mutas and Zerglings just evaporate. But he went out there too early. Meomaika got the opportunity he wanted, and that was all she wrote for the Terran player. So a very quick 2-0 there. And that actually puts Meomaika straight through to the upper bracket finals here for today.
Yeah. And he'll be facing the winner of Probe and Demilove, which I believe is our next series. Can we confirm that production? Production live for the field. Here we go. Yes, we are going to have Demilove versus Probe up next. So that's going to be a sick PvC. Two of the best players you could possibly ask for from our region going to be hitting each other off. There's going to be Probe playing from Korea, and I think Demi playing from India. So looking forward to this one. Drop your predictions in the chat. Let your friends know that a sick PvZ is coming up. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it is going to be Demilove, Probe, upper bracket semifinals. See you then.